Greetings from Pintpot. Today I'm starting a new series called Let's Not Get Farmed. The idea being to give some advice to help newer players have a more enjoyable experience playing Planetside 2. Now, one piece of advice you may hear again and again is that death is immaterial in Planetside 2. And technically that is correct. Objectives are what is important and you can redeploy after being killed in a matter of seconds. But let's face it, killing other players is a lot more fun than being killed yourself. And many of those people giving you advice that death is immaterial are probably those who are killing you repeatedly rather than being the ones killed themselves. Being annihilated in a matter of seconds every time you redeploy with no chance of fighting back isn't the best experience. So here are a few tips to avoid that happening to you. In this episode I'm going to be taking a look at when it's best just to redeploy from the base you're in. Now, you may have noticed that some bases, when they're being captured by the enemy, are effectively put under siege by both aircraft and armour. And this poses two problems to the defenders. The first is that aircraft and tanks can pretty much one-shot any infantryman. Therefore, as a new player, if you go outside, you're going to be killed pretty much instantly. The second problem is that it bottlenecks the defenders. Even if you're safe inside from enemy aircraft and tanks, there's only a few limited paths you can use which avoid being exposed to their attacks, i.e. you get bottlenecked into a very small narrow corridor. The attackers will know this and then line that bottleneck with loads of defences such as engineer turrets. It will also end up probably getting saturated with explosives. So what ends up happening in practice is that as soon as you leave your spawn room, be it to go outside or inside, you get massacred, with effectively no chance of fighting back. Now, many new players make the mistake of constantly redeploying after being killed and getting killed again instantly, and then having such a miserable time with it that they want to quit the game soon after. I know this because I quit the game when I was about BR10, as did my brother when he was about BR8. It was only much later that I came back to it, and our complaints were very similar, being constantly killed with effectively no chance of fighting back, frequently by explosives from tanks, aircraft and enemy infantry. So if you deploy at a base where you can see on the minimap that the enemy has a lot of armour and aircraft besieging it, then these are the better choices you can make. In order to alleviate the effect of your infantry defenders getting effectively bottlenecked into one small kill zone, what you need to do is remove the threat of enemy aircraft and armour. And the best way to do that is to redeploy to a nearby base and pick up your own armour. Now remember, tanks receive a lot more damage when they're hit with the rear than they are on the front. Effectively they can take less than half the number of hits on their rear armour than they can on their front. When enemy armour is attacking a base, all the guns tend to point inwards. Therefore, by attacking from outside of the base, you can often take them by surprise and kill several of their tanks before they're aware of a danger. And in terms of driving away enemy aircraft, you're better off using Burster Maxes and Skyguard Lightnings from a longer distance away to drive them away. Now, for a newer player, you're not going to have access to a lot of the anti-aircraft options, but you will have access to main battle tanks and lightnings. So the best thing to do is to pull a piece of armour, wait until you have a critical mass, say 4 or 5 tanks, and then move to flank the enemy. Do not stay in the base and get farmed endlessly. It's no fun, it doesn't achieve anything, and all it will do is put you off the game. Realise the situation as it is lost, and try and turn it to your advantage. Because even though death may be meaningless in Planetside 2, let's face it, it's a lot more fun being the killer rather than the killed. If you found this episode interesting or useful, please feel free to thumbs up, thumbs down, comment or subscribe as appropriate. In the meantime, have a good one, happy hunting, and Pintpot out.